Hi guys, this is Somi. Today I want to talk about being trilingual as a Korean living in Japan, speaking in English in the workplace. So to explain my background from the start, I never lived in foreign country before I became an adult. I was here and there after I became 20, but basically, yeah, I was born and raised up in Korea, so I never had a chance to improve my language skill naturally. But I always loved listening and talking in foreign languages, especially English constantly. Since I saw English contents when I was a kid, I think it was mainly Disney movies. I hated dubbed movies, and I still am, because it is really difficult to translate perfectly and deliver the context. I liked context basically.
Your device is offline. To connect, swipe down from the top.
I liked contents basically, reading books, watching movies, but after I realized that Korean contents I enjoyed so far was different from the original version, I became like I want to learn the language itself and explore the world by the original language. So this is one of the reasons why I got so interested in learning foreign languages, and the area I want to master became even broader. I just want to say being trilingual doesn't mean I can speak three languages perfectly. Even though I'm native in Korean, my Korean language skill decreases as well. Of course, it depends on person, but this means as my Japanese became better after starting to live in Japan, my English skill decreased, and it even affects my Korean, my native language skill. There are words that can be expressed only in Japanese or Korean. So when I am talking in English and suddenly come up with Japanese word, and I have to translate for explanation in English, and that takes time. That bugging time increases as I keep using English and Japanese these days in daily life, so it affects my Korean as well. So it's like my Korean becomes like 0.8, and my English becomes like 0.6, and my Japanese becomes 0.4. So it's not like I can speak in three different languages. It's like 1.8 languages. So recently, when I have a call with my Korean friends, they're like, "Oh God, what happened to your Korean?" There is another reason that it cannot be perfect three languages. I think in Korean, basically, because I am Korean, and when some people talk to me in different languages all of a sudden, I sometimes speak in Korean. It needs time to process the language shifting inside the brain. So there was a really funny episode when I was having my hair permed in hair salon in Korea. And I was texting with my Japanese friend in Japanese. All of a sudden, hairstylist, who is Korean, asked if something is okay. And I said hi, which means yes in Japanese. There was another similar funny episode. My boss, who is Japanese, asked something in Japanese, and I was typing something in Korean in the workplace, and I said 네, which means yes in Korean. Many people I met in Japan says it should be easier for Koreans to learn Japanese because the grammar and words are so similar. The answer is yes, but this applies only to people who are beginners. Once you step up to the next stage, the language word is totally different. So I want to talk about how to improve foreign language skills. I think the best way is to be exposed. It can be living in actual foreign country with foreign people, but it doesn't have to be that only. It can be a book, YouTube, or movies, so many other things. We are living in abundant media to get exposed contemporarily, so thankfully, we can improve. So enjoy it. But of course, the best way among those getting exposed is to communicate with real people. I improved my Japanese the most in England when I was studying there before I started living in Japan. I was in Japanese society and I met a lot of good friends who are from Japan. and I had a lot of opportunity to improve my language skill. And I'm improving English here in Japan, blissfully, with meeting a lot of different friends from abroad. So to sum up, the best way to improve language skills is to get exposed to the language. So living in the country, speaking the language you want to learn is the best way. But because we don't have the opportunity to live in anywhere, anytime, since our lifespan and money is limited, I recommend to be near to contents as much as you can. So today I talked about how I became trilingual and how I improved my language skills. I want to talk more about my experiences abroad next time, which helped me a lot for my language skills growth. See you next time. Bye. So to explain my background first, I never lived in foreign country before. So to explain my background from the start, I never lived in foreign country before I think Korean basically